Dear sir, I don't know how to begin. I'm sure this will all sound strange. I've wanted to communicate with you for so long, but I've never known how. So I've come back to the place where my life first connected with yours and began filming. I was 13 when I first came to Gettysburg, and while wandering around the National Cemetery, I found your grave. I stared for a while, but I have to explain. It wasn't your name I saw. It was my name carved into that stone. Michael Mullen, 69th, Pennsylvania Regiment, Company G. All of my life I've looked for meaning in coincidence, and though the years have passed now, I never forgot what I saw that day. So I decided to find out more about you, your life, and the times you've lived in. And with some digging, luck or fate led me to your journal. So I've come back 8 years later with a camera and a larger task at hand than I ever could have imagined.
May 26th, 1862. Today makes a year since I've joined as a soldier, and the strange bustling and whispers about the camp point to tomorrow as bringing my first action in the field. So I've taken some of my $13 pay and bought this little book to write in, with the hope of leaving some record of my small experience of this big war, should I die before it runs its course.
Dear sir, a few years ago I moved out of the Frankfurt area of Philadelphia, where we both spent some of our lives. The neighborhood has changed a lot, I'd imagine, and since your time it has become a depressing place. But right there on Griscom Street is a Grand Army of the Republic Museum. This place has been the headquarters of my research, and it is here that I found your journal, buried among the fragments of the everyday lives of soldiers that have been stored in attics and picked off of battlefields. It is here that I page through documents and flip through books. I find pieces, dig for clues, and wonder. I wonder where I connect, create, and consider. I keep no journal. I can't control the clamor of my own consciousness. I wonder, am I not comfortable? I wonder. Rather, I correspond with you. I can search, research, and link, or look for a man whose face is a book. I can give you a face, a body, flesh, hair, bones, eyes, define the whys. Who are they, or who am I?
July 7th, 1862. Encamped a few miles outside of Washington. It has been raining every day, which doesn't keep us from drilling from morning till night. Yesterday I got myself elected first sergeant of the company, a surprise to me, who only joined the army with much pressure and some liquor from Tommy at one of his rallies. I wouldn't have joined at all had I not lost the old factory job. Also, I should say, the help of my dear brother and his damned radical politics. When I first joined on for this life, I felt that we Irishmen were selling ourselves as mercenaries for someone else's war. But when we all put on our blue and became equal to wallow in the mud with any man, I felt a sort of camaraderie, which I haven't felt before. But this new responsibility plagues me. I shot a man on picket duty a little while back, and as there isn't much in camp to put my mind to, I keep recalling the incident in my mind. I'm not sure how I think of it. I'm not even convinced that I feel much at all, which troubles me most. In truth, I've been hazy for the past few weeks. Donald caught a bullet during a skirmish. I don't believe he's doing so well, and I'm afraid he suspects as much.
Dear sir, I'm not sure how I could effectively communicate with you without giving you a tidbit of the modern consciousness. See, I think that Americans are probably the most warlike country ever in existence. There has been a major engagement every 20 years. I think that the idea is that in this country, we are a free market and a competitive market. We rely on competition, which in turn relies on the fact of winning at any cost. We will lie, cheat, steal, and drop powerful bombs on innocent people, just so we will win. We are a fighting country, and we are always willing to declare war on anything. And this is the way we wager change. Presently, we have several wars going on in this country. A war on drugs, a war on poverty, a war on corruption. What are these wars, and why are they called wars? A competition, a brutal confrontation where the best man standing is the winner? This is how we play sports, do business, anything. I have to admit that I don't find this type of warfare to be that necessary. For at times I find myself declaring war with myself. A war on laziness, a war on procrastination, a war on lying, a war on drugs. I'm just letting you know what I'm up against. Hopefully that by sizing up the landscape for you, I can get a better grasp for myself.
August 10th, 1862. The regiment has posed for a photograph. I have heard of the exhibitions of battlefield photographs in New York and Philadelphia for those at home to gasp and wonder at. The mangled bodies on the torn ground, the hastily dug grave sites, the men in their best uniforms posing for mother or sweetheart, or caught in a relaxed moment. The artilleryman at his cannon, the engineer cores bridges of freshly hewn wood which sprout up by night to be burnt the next day. The burnt outhouses, the wounded man lacking his limb, the smoking, sputtering steam trains rushing men and supplies to a beleaguered army, the generals, the politicians, the young boys and the old men. Instants, captured in time for all those who were not there to see. But, mercifully, the camera's powers are limited to what you can see and not what can be felt all around. If that black box could only capture the feelings of the man the night before a battle, such an ugly picture would be composed of hatred and fear of man for their brothers as would bring shame to the memory of these armies. It is best this way. The images will remain to tell their ghostly tales, and perhaps in time they too will fade, erasing forever the memory of this war, these men, their stories. I swear, there is nothing on this earth which could shock me now.
Dear sir, with all due respect, I assure you that what this world had brought about in the last 100 or so years would shock you indeed. If the 19th century conquered the planet through technical advancement, the 20th century certainly strangled it. However, I have noticed a similarity between our two worlds, and where fast-paced and constant change is the norm. I would imagine that it began in your time with the growth of the industrial age. In 1863, an Englishman named Charles Darwin published a book entitled The Origin of the Species, which directly challenges through the scientific method the biblical story of creation, which then led to further speculation of the matter at hand, which was truth itself. Science quickly became the new cold and ruthless God. This new God showed us the path to increased mechanization, tying or subjugating, some say, man to his machines. This increase of mechanization came to a devastating culmination in 2 world wars at the beginning of my century, where the entire world went to war with one another, and the destruction was unimaginable. The face of war has changed quite a bit from your time to mine, but I think that most of the drastic scientific, political, and socio-economic changes that were happening during the mid-1800s, most Americans feel quite distant from. I don't feel that this is justified anyway, since this country is basically the experimentation of certain ideals. Probably during your time, reasons and ideals had a meaning much closer to the individual than it does today in my time. Probably because the meaning of the individual has not been completely exploited by current trends in mass media. How can I explain mass media? Well, the truth is that the way of life for most Americans is practically the same. However, homogeneity is not a synonym for unity. I'm not sure how I connect the advent of the machine age that has led to the sophistication of the general populace to see human beings as machine-like organisms. I'm not sure how I give the definitive version of consciousness, and where such abstract terms as freedom and individual life take. I only know what I know of the event historical insight. I don't pretend to be a man who knows nothing, therefore when leaves me something anything. I hope I know something about nothing, rather than nothing, so rather an individual speculates some other than average nothing, who for some reason knows that nothing we don't know.
October 13th, 1862. I don't remember why I'm here. Solitary and irritable, I keep to myself. I don't know why. Lost Hugh. He opened his mouth and swallowed a ball. He was yelling a song. I remember he was shouting a song. I don't know what I'm doing. I know I don't want to go on. I can't remember why I'm here. I can't tell what I'm doing. I couldn't tell you why. I just don't know anymore. I just don't know.
Dear sir, I've been thinking that I should take a step back. What is it that I have been missing? Do I overanalyze? I feel small and insignificant, distracted and severed in this strange and complicated world. I am not at ease with the sounds of my own thoughts. I attempt to create an illusion of control of the world around me. I'm only 21 years old. Where's my center? Can I hold? Why am I not at ease with the sounds of my own thoughts? My life must seem like heaven to you, or my life must seem so small.